What is up, Team Happy and Fit? It is Julianne Condia. I'm so stoked that it's Tuesday and we get to chat. I am pumped to deliver you a message. And so I'm going to hit on 4 major points. One is about problems versus solutions, or solutions versus problems. And then number 2 is feeling frustrated where you might currently be in your business. And then number 3 is the compensation plan, which could sound so boring, but it's really not. We're going to make it come to life. And then really talking to you about coach to self, coach to others, how you can help other people get started. I think that we are part of the greatest team ever. I really do believe that. I think that what we stand for is incredible. I think that this journey that we're on is incredible, and to be able to surround yourself with, if you guys listen to Elevation Church with Stephen Furtick, he's hilarious, and he is out, I think, in North Carolina, and he had a phenomenal message on Sunday on his podcast app, Elevation Church, or Elevation is what it's called, and it was something about dreaming. And he said, when you dream, you're different. And I think on the Q&A, I want to thank Kim Meyer for leading our Q&A on yesterday, because I was leading a team call for Teresa. And I saw in a comment, I read your comments, I see what your takeaways are and were. And one of them was that, like, who in your life do you set dreams with? Like, isn't it really cool to be able to surround yourself with other people who are dreaming and doing something? I just had a friend text me and she said, Julianne, I'm going to do it. I'm like, what are you going to do? She said, I think I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to pursue this business that I'm doing and go to grad school. And it's not Beachbody, it's something else. And it's a business she's created. And I said, girl, if there's anything that I know, it's risk taking and taking leaps. Like, if that is the epitome of my journey in the last 5 years, I 100% relate to you. It's scary as hell, and I'm going to be the number one supporter in your life. And she said, I know you get it. I'm probably going to call you when I'm freaking out. And I was like, oh yeah, you're going to. Like, you're going to second guess yourself the entire time, but it's going to make you. It's going to be amazing. And I just think, like, how cool is it that we get to partner all together on this call and dream bigger and help people and be part of a mission, be part of impact, and be a part of self-care and want to take care of ourselves. Like, that is really awesome, because there's a lot of people who aren't wanting to do that. So I just want to say, first and foremost, I'm so stoked to partner with all of you. Honestly, I really am, knowing that you're making self-care a priority. And here's the deal. You're going to get off track. You're going to need to course correct. Yeah. Sometimes we can be embarrassed by that. And sometimes we can feel frustrated by that, but let that frustration and that disappointment or that embarrassment be your story. Like, be open about that. And I'm going to talk about that in a second when we talk about problems versus solutions, because some of my biggest problems starting this journey were comparison. Anyone compare around here? Yeah, you're not trying to walk into a room being like, hey, I compare myself to everybody in this room. How many of you have ever gone to the beach and you're just instantly looking for someone who looks more attractive than you? And then you just are feeling less than and you're feeling insecure. Have you been there? I've been there. It freaking sucks. What about the gym? You're going to the gym and you're like, yes, like, I'm crushing it. And then all of a sudden you look at someone else and they're just crushing it way more than you, right? In the beginning of my journey, that is totally what I would do constantly. Didn't serve me, didn't help me, and it felt like crap. How many of you have felt jealous of someone before, right? Maybe with this business, you felt jealous with someone because they've gotten results faster than you. And those results could be going to Emerald, I don't know, Success Club, could be losing 10 pounds that you're wanting to lose, finishing a program. For some reason, it's so dang hard for me, right? And not actually me, I'm just trying to speak to one of you right now, if that makes sense. That took me a while to do myself. But have you been there? That does not feel good. And when we're jealous, that can create this insecurity that we're not enough. And I have to tell you, it's humanity. Like, we're going to experience those types of things. And so what I encourage you to do is use that as your story. So for me, I do talk about how I'm naturally a jealous person. You should be writing this down if this is speaking to your soul right now, because this is a good message that will totally connect with someone. And the best part about this message is that it's your story. So when you make this post on social media, it's your story about being jealous, about comparing, not feeling enough, feeling frustrated, needing to get back on track. You've gotten off track and you're embarrassed by it, right? Like you're just not feeling good about it. However, the coolest part about this journey is that we just don't quit. Is that something that we can acknowledge right now? There are tons of people who throw in the towel because they got off track, but not you because you're here. There's something to that. There has to be something to that. So I'm going to go ahead and dive and dig in. Now, if many of you listen to me, I repeat myself, if I am feeling on fire in some kind of way, you're going to hear about it. Like hands down, you're going to hear about what is speaking to my soul. And right now that is Ed Milet. For sure. The Ed Milet Show. He is my favorite podcaster. And here's the deal. And what I want you to picture and what I want you to think about as you listen to him is how can I become a better and leader and mentor just hearing the way he interviews and listens to people. So I'm not just taking away the content that's being spoken about. I'm also watching and listening, because you can watch him on YouTube. I'm also watching his body language as he's talking with someone and the questions he asks the people he's interviewing. And I'm just really fascinated by the way he's so captivated by the person he's connecting with. I think that's what makes his podcast so powerful, is that he's really feeling it. So if any of you have ever heard, can you agree with this? If any of you have listened to Ed Milet, like he just gets so into it. And if there's any kind of major theme that I see and hear with all of the people that he interviews, and so many of them are powerful freaking women. Like, is that not amazing? He doesn't just interview powerful, wonderful men that have done a lot. He's also interviewing women who are trailblazers. But the theme that I've noticed in all of his interviews, including the ones with his own content, is that they're all kind of the underdog, or they've all really struggled. Some of them even talking about how they had a whole lot of wealth, like millions of dollars, and they got ripped away. What would you all do if that even happened? Like, dig a grave? I don't know. I hope I would be like them and be resilient and fight through it. And honestly, when I hear those stories, I'm like, one, I don't have it that bad. Like, whatever my bad I think I have right now, it's not that bad. But two, if they can do it, it's just proof that I can too. And that should be the same for the Beachbody world. When you see someone doing something that you wish to be at, can't that just be proof that there's enough room for you? Because the best part about this business that we're in is that there's so much room. And typically when we're comparing and we're feeling jealous and we're not feeling enough, scarcity starts to sink in and we think we can't do it. We think that we've run out of time. We think that someone like me can't do something like that. We think that we're not good enough, our content isn't good enough, we're not good enough. No one would want to partner alongside of me, right? That I'm just not likable. Those are lies. That is not true. That is not how this plays out. How this plays out in this business, and this is where you got to really tune up your mindset and you got to switch it, because that is going to be the thing that takes you to wherever you want to go. And there's also another lie that you're playing with right now. I should be farther along. How many of you have felt that way? Some of you have set goals and you keep on missing them. And then that's the story you keep replaying in your head, right? It sucks. It's not serving you. So how about we change the story? Some of you are beating yourself up because ... I've been in it this long and I should be making this, right? I've been here and this is where I feel like I'm going backwards, or I feel like nothing's happening. That story is not serving you. So let's start to change it. Let's start to think about maybe you're right where you should be. Because every time I've hit a milestone in this business, it's never given me confidence. It's never been the game changer for me. But when I look back, I think about how I didn't quit is the game changer. What got me here is the game changer. The grit that I learned is the game changer. It's the journey that's the game changer, not the actual destination, arrival, or goal milestone. I think about being on a dead leg. Some of you don't really understand what that means, but the really cool part about this compensation plan that Beachbody has laid out for everybody, it doesn't play favorites, legitimately for every single coach, right? How that anyone that maybe has joined before you could help you and add to your organization. That wasn't the case for me. For those of you who have someone that has joined before you who's helping you in your organization, that's amazing. I didn't have that. So on January 1st, 2016, 3 years ago, I had the 100th coach in my entire organization enroll. That was through a lot of failure, through a lot of cancellations, through a lot of whatever. Now, fast forward 3 years, Happy and Fit is about to hit 1,000 into the total organization. So when I look back at that, it's not hitting the 1,000 that's giving me all the confidence. It's knowing that I never threw in the towel, because you never really know what's to come. You could be so close to such a breakthrough, but you throwing in the towel doesn't do anything. And I'm going to show you something before I get back in this. I was encouraged to make this today in a leadership page. And again, there's been so many times in my head I've played like, I should be farther along, right? I should be farther along. So I've been a coach. I think you need to see the potential in this, and please blow up the chat for this. From now on, I'm going to be as transparent as I possibly can. And the reason I want to be so transparent with this kind of stuff is because I think it can lead to a breakthrough for so many of you. I think it can create so much potential, because I have to tell you this with my entire soul. This doesn't play favorites. This wasn't luck. If you know me, I'm in the grind. If you know me, I show up hard. If you know me, my belief is relentless in what we're doing. Not only what it's done in my own life, but what it's doing for other people, that I believe this. For some reason, women get so weird about making money. When we walk into Target, we don't question it. In fact, Brittany McMillan / Frost, one of my best friends, says there's a scent in Target. They get you. We walked into Target today. I was like, is that popcorn? Eric's like, they're getting you. Like they want you to stay here, right? We don't question it. We don't question teachers that are getting paid, doctors that are getting paid, personal trainers that are getting paid, right? The Starbucks barista that's getting paid for serving you. But the coolest part about this, first of all, we should never question getting paid in this. If your intentions are to serve, your intentions are to transform, your intentions are to literally become the best version of yourself so you can clean up the kitchen in your own household, be a better wife, be a better mom, be a better girlfriend, be a better husband, whatever, ... right? Better friend. I think it's all worth it. And then on top of that, you can build an amazing business. And now some of you are feeling frustrated because you feel like you're never going to have that breakthrough. I've been there many times, many times. But you have to hear my heart on this. 100%, you have to trust this process, that there is going to be a point that you're not going to be so frustrated by where your business is. Like right now, I'm so proud about where my business is. It doesn't feel like it's falling apart. It doesn't feel like it's going backwards. It doesn't feel like everyone's quitting. It doesn't feel like I'm the only one doing this anymore. But for a long time, that's exactly how it felt. There is going to be a point in your business where you can build this thing to where you're not feeling like you're always defending it. Or how can I even create a stable income in this if it always feels like it's fluctuating? I promise you, you will. And in fact, the only way it's going to go is go up. Doesn't that sound so good? So being in this 5 years in May, my 5th year anniversary is in May, I started out and my goal was to go emerald. That was my first goal because my mentors told me that. And here's the deal. When you surround yourself with mentors who've been successful in this, you listen. So if I'm telling you this and you're looking at this, listen, right? If you're really wanting this. So my mentors, one of them is in the Million Club. The other one is probably shortly going to be in the Million Club. They would always tell me, Julianne, this doesn't play favorites. Like, if I can do this, you can do this. Like, that's what they would tell me. That's what I'm telling you. I heard them. I trusted them. I believed them. I knew that they were right. So, okay. So in March 2015, 966 that month. And then if you look at the 16, 3,000, right? 3,500. If you look at 2017, 5,900. And if you look, actually in March 2018, it went down a little bit. 5,400. Didn't even know, right? I put this together today. Didn't even know that. And then March 2019, 8,200. What would that do for your life? What would that do for you? You have to see this potential. That's just going to keep on growing. I told Eric today, I said, I can't wait to see what March 2020 looks like because that could double. That's how this works, the compound effect. That could be 16,000 next March in 1 month. It could be. And this is coming from a teacher. This is what I would make. I would make less than this every 2 weeks. 966. Isn't that wild? So I need you to see that. This journey gives you more choices. I'm never going to preach it to do this full time, nor am I going to say to do this as a side hustle. If you treat this like a more choices type of thing, a more belief type of thing, I think that you'll start to see more potential in your life instead of trying to categorize it as something, but more like, man, this is going to create more freedom and time, going to create more choices in my life for the people that I love. And that's how I feel. So back to Ed Milet, he was talking about problems versus solutions. You'd be surprised. How many of you get a lot of inbox messages about how people are struggling? Like that, so if you get them, I want you to multiply it by 50 for me. Okay, no, I'm just kidding, not 50, but it's a lot. I get a lot of messages of the struggle's real. I'm off track. Da 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 da. And thankfully, over the last 5 years, I've created this type of mindset for when someone comes at me with that. I know how to reshape it. I know how to work through it. I know how to not take it personally. I know how not to get so frustrated. I also know how to help them. I also know how to mentor. One, I'm like, man, the thing is that they're so focused on the struggle that they're not focused on the solution. And Ed Milet's episode was so crucial. So I'm going to break it down for you. This is what he said. He said, we magnify problems. We magnify problems. How many of you have ever magnified a problem? I definitely have, right? And he said, we should actually focus 90% of our energy on the solution. So say, how can I put this into practical terms? Maybe you're on your way to diamond, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later and switch the mindset of diamond to something else, okay? But maybe instead of, okay, if that's my goal, we should not be thinking, wow, I feel like my whole organization is falling apart. Everyone's going inactive. Everyone's quitting. I almost was diamond. I was the coach away and then everything fell apart. Have you felt that way? Or I have been diamond and I feel like I'm constantly defending it. Have you ever said that? Yep. I honestly know, right? Where instead of saying that kind of story, how about we just start focusing on what we need to be doing? We focus on the solution instead of focusing on, I'm not enough. Maybe I'm not good at this. I was so close. Now I'm throwing in the towel. The energy that took a lot of energy. I don't want to do that again, right? And we start to self-sabotage. And then I don't show up anymore. And then I got completely off track. Has this happened to any of you before? I'm not just speaking to one person here. I see a lot of head nods. This is a commonality. You're not alone in your struggle. Sometimes we think that our struggle is so one-sided. We think that our struggles are so unique. This is going to be painful to hear. Your struggles are not unique, but they are so significant. My miscarriage is not unique. 1 in 4 women have them. It's not unique. Most women have them. But it's significant. It rocked my freaking world. However, when that happened, I had to focus 90% of my energy, even though I didn't want to get out of bed, even though I was feeling depressed, I was feeling so sad, I was mourning, all these things. I had to focus 90% of my mindset on just trying to show up in self-care. That was hard, but what I thought about was it's going to be hard either way, Julianne, but which way is going to help you see the light better? So you could focus on how hard and how sucky this is and continue to stay in a hole of darkness and not work on yourself. Eat your way through your feelings and emotions. Be couch ridden and just watch TV and just do that. Or you could just do a workout each day and cry the entire time when you do it. You have a choice, but which one's going to help you through it? Julian, you could get up and you could turn on TV and binge watch stuff, or you could open up your Bible. Which one's gonna, and you're gonna still cry during both. You're still gonna feel miserable during both, but which one is gonna set you up for more success? So I had to dig into being solution oriented through my pain, through my struggle, instead of just identifying with the struggle. Your struggle's not unique. But sometimes our brain, all it wants to capture is that survival, and your brain wants to comfort you, and it's going to comfort you maybe in the wrong places, in the wrong ways. So that's why I'm so thankful you're here, is because we can start to really push that. Let's push through that. Let's really start to think about what can help you. And what's going to help you is focusing on the solution. He said the only way to grow is with problems. Can you write that down? Why do you think that your problem shouldn't be there? Why do you think that this shouldn't be a struggle? Why do you think that I can promise you this? If self-care in this business was so easy, everyone would be doing it. I wish everyone would be doing it. But in life, our problems shape us, make us, give us so much grit and strength of overcoming. We should not even be freaking surprised at our struggle. So if you are quote unquote struggling, you're on your way to where you need to go. But typically our brain and mindset before this whole self-care journey is going to tailor to the old ways you would cope. How many of you have felt that? But the longer you stick in this, the more you're going to build this resiliency to problems, that when you get them, you're going to be like, wait a second, the old me would do this. I'm on my way to being a new me. That is what I need to do. And then you start to recognize how proud you are about showing up in your journey through your struggle. I was thinking about when we went to Florida a couple weeks ago, Eric and I did a workout in the airport. First and foremost, working out wouldn't even be a thing on vacation, like at all. And here we are in the airport working out. And in that moment, did we like hardcore sweat, or did that one workout really transform our lives? No. But what it did for my mindset was, man, Julianne, you are powerful. You have transformed. You are like, your mindset is on a totally different route than it was 5 years ago. I was more proud of that than the actual workout, right? So as you go through this journey and as you face problems, because you will, yep, you guys, it's not unique when coaches quit. It's not unique when you invest in a ton of people and they quit. It's not unique when people don't love this as much as you. It can sting though, but people aren't going to love this as much as you. Yes, people are going to go quote unquote quicker than you, and it's going to suck. But guess what? Comparison isn't unique in this situation. It happens to a lot of people. A lot of people go at different paces, but just because they're going at different paces doesn't mean you can't do it either. You are right where you should be, and then you're going to focus 90% on what you need to do to create a solution for that, and trust that you're just building your story to relate to more people. I'm right where I should be. My journey over the last 5 years has gotten to me right here. A lot of you might see my story as inspiring, but I've struggled with it sometimes over the last 5 years. I should be farther along. I should be doing this. I should be doing this. And then I already know some of you are like, man, thank you, Julianne, for sharing this. Like, I can relate to that. But I've struggled with that. It's never going to be enough. It never will be enough if we continue to play into the story that we have to be farther along than we should be, or that we shouldn't have struggles. Once you start to own it, once you start to own where you are and be grateful for where you are and thankful that you haven't quit and excited about where you're going, you'll start to appreciate the journey more instead of taking it for granted. Because this has done a lot more for you than where you want to be would do for you. You're right where you're supposed to be, but let's not stay here. Let's keep on moving. To become the best version of yourself is to go through problems. How many of you hate having problems though? Right? But Ed Milet is saying, in order to become the best version of yourself, you should be going through problems. How about we own that? He said to feel the emotion and then start to solve it. You have to feel it. When I went through my miscarriage, I felt it. It sucked. Moving across the country, I was so homesick. I think I cried every day for 6 months. Eric and I were distant. We weren't as connected. We were so homesick. So many tears, so many frustrations. I allowed myself to feel it, but I still showed up during that time. Problems should be your meaning and an indicator that you're on the road to success when you have problems. So me moving across the country, so many people try to avoid pain by don't do that, don't uproot, don't leave a place that you love. Don't quit your job because it's going to be hard, right? Like those are all the pieces of advice that I got because people that love you want you to avoid pain. Like when Eric has a setback in life, I wish I could take the pain away from him and he wouldn't have to feel that. I'm sure you as moms, when you're seeing your kid get bullied or someone makes a bad comment at them or they get hurt in some way, I bet it just hurts your heart and you just wish that you could take all of that for them. But there's a deep part of you that knows that they need to learn how to work through it, right? It's painful. Like it's super painful to go through problems. But if that's our way of growth to success, I just even think about, I know I've shared this before, and maybe you haven't caught this before, but my mom, she's amazing and drives me crazy at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But like, she's so great. So in high school, I was dating, like when you're in high school, it's like you think you have it all figured out and have all this stuff. But anyway, basically what happened is that the boyfriend that I was dating, we broke up and he started dating my best friend. Like, talk about a lot of knives that go into your heart in high school. Like it was not fun, my friends. And I remember my mom, I'll never forget this, I was crying like a little girl on the ground in the kitchen, like in fetal position. Oh, God is good to bring me to Eric. Anyway, I was like later on or something in that moment, I'll never forget this, is she said, yes, I knew you wouldn't end up with him. And I'm like, Mom, why didn't you tell me? Like, if you knew that, like your motherly instinct, why didn't you tell me? She's like, you had to figure that out for yourself. When I called my mom to say, hey, Mom, I'm going to quit my stable teaching job, the one with benefits and the one that is stable and secure. I'm going to leave it for this thing I'm doing. She didn't quite get it. She, I could hear it in her voice and she's like, okay. She knew I had to figure it out. She couldn't hold me back from learning my best lessons. Hey, Mom, Eric and I are going to move to California. I could hear it in her voice, but at the same time, she's like, I'll support you. She knew I had to go figure it out. And I always say to her, I go, Mom, I know how hard that must have been all these times, but I love that you never held me back because you knew I would become the best version of myself, and you knew I would always course correct. If I made a wrong choice or if I got off track, that I would somehow find my way back, but you were always there to listen and you were always there for me and to support me. Isn't that amazing? So this is what Ed Milet says about solving problems. So if you have a major problem right now, I would write this down, especially in your self-care journey or especially in your business. He said, number one, you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision about what you're going to do. You cannot mope and grope. Grope, I don't think is the right word. Anyway, we'll just pretend like I did not say that, but you guys know where my mind is right now. Braless, groping, Make a decision. What are you going to do about it? Are you just going to sit there and complain about it? Do nothing about it? Get off course about it? Quit? What are you going to do? Make a decision. I'm going to do something. I'm going to move forward. I believe in myself. I know I can do this. And he said, number two, have massive certainty. There should be no doubt. He said that creating an unperfect plan and doing it with certainty is better than having a perfect plan with having uncertainty. Some people try to make the perfect plans with that decision. They have to have it all laid out. They have to have all their ducks. Okay, an example of that would be like people asking, what do you say to someone when you start a conversation? What I would say is go have the conversation and you'll figure it out. Like, go out there and learn, like, be uncertain about it. I always talk about the two first coaches I ever helped to get to Emerald was Eric. He was my boyfriend at the time. And then I went to my friend Leah's house. Well, she wasn't my friend at the time, but I had met her on Instagram. So hashtag, is that creepy? Like going to her house and meeting her on Instagram. We had mutual friends, y'all. Like she was not a creep. Anyway, I went to her house with a binder. I said yesterday on the team call, I hope I'm being dramatic. I hope the binder was really this big, but it was a thick binder, okay? And for 2 hours, we sat there going through what a coach is, what a coach does, what Beachbody is, for 2 hours. Like, that's so embarrassing. And she ended up signing up, but guess what? I never did that again. I never went to someone's house with a binder. Because I did that, I learned how to do it better. And then I word vomited a whole bunch, and then people got annoyed with me, blocked me, unfollowed me, said no, all this stuff. And then I just kept getting better because I wasn't trying to think of the perfect thing to say. I wasn't trying to wait for the perfect plan. I just got to work and failed the heck forward. And now when you look at that paycheck, it's not because I had a perfect plan in place and waiting for people to tell me what to say to people. What I did instead is that I just made a plan with a whole lot of uncertainty and got better. So how do you build your social media following? I don't know. How about you just go try? How do you get more views on your stories? How about instead of asking everybody and waiting for the perfect plan, how about you just go communicate with a lot of people? What did Teresa Schrader say on a guest call for the coaches who went Emerald again? Is she said, I'm not a big cold inviter. She's like, instead of being a massive cold inviter, how about you be a massive cold conversation starter? So just go communicate with people. So I think the way to have massive certainty specifically with Beachbody are these three things. So he said, make a decision and have massive certainty, right? I think what's going to create certainty for you are these three things. And some of you going to Super Saturday in Iowa are going to hear this again, is this, the belief in Beachbody. I think it's really easy to believe in Beachbody. I think the reason it's really easy to believe in Beachbody is because Shakeology is 70 plus superfoods, 70 plus ingredients whipped up in a matter of minutes that fuel your body. Shakeology is my prenatal doctor approved. Shakeology makes your body function better. I think the nutrition plans that we have with Beachbody are so incredible because you don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to guess. It's practical. I think that the nutrition plans, whether it's 2B Mindset or the containers, are there to fit anybody. If you're an emotional eater or you're someone who needs a little bit more structure, but there's plans to help you make this a lifestyle and not a quick fix. Beachbody is not a quick fix. It's not a scam. It's hard work. It's real people, real results, real transformations, right? I love the fact that Beachbody has a core value of personal development. And what's really cool about that core value is that it's not just coaches that are doing personal development, but it's also the corporate mentors and corporate people who work for Beachbody that are working on their mindset as well. It's really easy to believe in Beachbody on demand because of how practical these workouts are, how flexible these workouts are, how these workouts fit into any season that you're in, whether you're just getting started on your journey or you've been on this journey for a while. Whether you need to gain weight or tone up or lose weight doesn't really matter. Beachbody has something for you. If you're a big yoga person, they've got it. If you're a dance person, they've got it. If you want to incorporate some weightlifting, you got it. But if you don't have any weights, they've got it for you. It's the #1 gym in the world. It's easy to believe in Beachbody. The second belief that you would need is to believe in the team, and that's right here. I think we're raving fans for our team. We link arms with people who care about people. We link arms with people who work on themselves. There's something to that. There's something about surrounding yourself with people who value hard work, that value, we all know this and get this, that working out isn't so much about looking your absolute best, but it does something to your heart and it does something to your mindset and it does something about the energy that you have. You're less sluggish, you're less moody. It's helped really, for me personally, it's helped teaming up with people who work on themselves. It's helped me believe in myself. It's helped me see a greater and grander vision. I love partnering with people who love to work hard. I love partnering with people who celebrate people. Do you want to know something that's lost in the adult world? Celebrating adults. It doesn't happen. But I feel like constantly on this team, all we're doing is celebrating each other as adults, as people who are growing and transforming and becoming the best versions of ourselves. Isn't it easy to believe in the team? Here's the deal though. To create more certainty, there's a third belief that I think is your one thing that's going to get in the way of you building this thing, and it's you. Belief in yourself. When I first started, I was 1 foot in, I was 1 foot out. I was curious. I knew I wouldn't quit though. That's the crazy thing. And then it took moments like this, conversations like this, for me to really grasp that I could do this. That someone like me, who was not very smart in school, who had a limiting belief that she wasn't smart, could do this. All of a sudden, I believed that someone who grew up with not a lot could do this. Because I had people in my life that I was linking arms with through the team telling me that I could. And I remember the moment I was listening to someone speak. I think it was Julie Voris. If you're a diamond coach, you need to get on that diamond call on Team Rockstar Fit. Tomorrow morning, she's guest speaking. She was the coach I heard at Summit that I remember immediately I had tears in my eyes and I said, why not me? My belief fully kicked in that a girl like me could do this. And please let me be that voice for you, that you can do this. There's no favorites. There's no secrets. You being you is enough. Actually, you being you is the way to go in this. That whatever you're afraid of, let me tell you, it's way better to think about what the potential is than what you're afraid of in this. When you really start to think about that, we have so many fangirls on our team, and I love it, where they're like, Happy&Fit is the greatest. Happy&Fit, and they're posting in there every day. They're showing up every day. And I just think to myself, one, that's awesome. But two, I wish they truly knew that they could be more than a fan of the team and lead their own team. Like they could lead a movement so big in their own lives, partnering with women, showing other people that they can rock self-care in this journey, that they could be a trailblazer for that they don't have to just be a huge believer in the team and a huge believer in Beachbody, but they could be believing in themselves that they could do it too. That is my biggest hope. And he said to solve a problem, number 3 is take massive action. Take massive action. That formula will help you crush most problems. Making a decision, having massive certainty, and again, I think those 3 beliefs are going to help you with the massive certainty in what you're doing, and then take massive action. He said we should be resolving 85% of the problems we have immediately. So as soon as you get a coach cancellation, or you're going for something and there's an inactive, or you're sending out your first messages or running your first challenge group and you get no's or rejections, take action on that immediately. So when you get that cancellation, that inactive, whatever, instead of just feeling sorry for yourself, go take action about it. Go expand your network. Go make another post about your challenge group. Go celebrate someone in the team page. Go take action instead of just let that feeling corrupt your mind. Being decisive matters. In these moments, being decisive matters. And then you have to think about, what does this problem mean? Will this matter in 5 years? Will this matter next week? Will this matter in a month? I can promise you it won't. I've had to make some tough calls as a coach. I've had to trust my gut. I've always trusted my gut building this. Always. I've always trusted it, even if that compromised people questioning me. And it has. But I've always trusted my gut. People are intimidated by big dreamers and big doers. Hands down. Like, they are going to be like, you're changing. You're not the same person I once known you to be. Have you guys gotten that one? I get that one a lot. This is who you used to be. I'm like, yeah, that's who I used to be. I'm not trying to be that person. I'm trying to grow, right? But at the end of the day, I have nothing to prove to anybody. I don't need to make excuses. I don't need to apologize. I don't need to do squat. I need to trust my gut and keep on going. A lot of times when we have problems, we're afraid we're losing something. Isn't that true? And usually, it's not feeling the losing that we're not going to get diamond, losing like whatever. It's usually losing significance and certainty. Isn't that true? And isn't that a gut check? So when our problems arise and we start to get all up in our head, let's think about it where it's like we crush 80-day obsession, like so many of us did, right? I don't know if I did, but you know what I'm saying. And all of a sudden a problem arises, we can't figure out a program to do next. Then we start to get in our head about it, and it's creating this problem. And then all of a sudden scarcity jumps in, and we are afraid that we're gonna get off track again, gain weight again, right? Like get it out of shape again. Like we're all of a sudden we're perpetuating all of these fears that we have because we're so afraid of losing significance and certainty. He said you cannot make a bad decision with good physiology. And what that means is typically when we have problems, we start to hunch over and we start to breathe smaller. So when a problem arises, a coach cancellation, an inactive, a rejection, someone telling you you're in a cult, so like ... right? That one was amazing, like literally so amazing, where what you do in that moment is go do some squats, start breathing deeper, change your posture, go have sex with your spouse. I'm serious. Like, it's going to change your physiology. Like, you can't make a bad decision in a good mood. You cannot make a bad decision when you're jumping up and down, going for a walk. Why do you think your best decisions ideas come in the shower or when you're working out? It's because you're in a peak state, right? You're in a peak state. So that is why most people struggle with depression and anxiety when at night when you're laying there and in the morning when you're laying there. Is that not true? That is when the most stress and anxiety happens. The elephant that's sitting on your chest, the fears that you have of the future, the worry you have about money has so much to do when you're still. So with your business, with all those things, maybe before you send out invites or whatever, you're going to do something really brave in your business. You're going to go live. You're going to make your first social media post. You're going to talk to a friend about this. You're going to decide to go emerald. Maybe you go do a squat challenge, or you go, I'm not going to do an analogy of running because hello. But maybe you're going to go take a walk. You're going to move your body before you do that. Does that make sense? Or maybe you have to respond to someone who is negative. Maybe take some deep breaths before you do that, put some music on and jump up and down and change your physiology, okay? Solve your problems with the workout and shower. Yes, that was so good. Anyway, that was Ed Milet. You should go listen to that episode. Wasn't that so helpful? Like those were the takeaways and the notes that I took from his podcast, which was so, so good. Okay, Beth is goals. Dave and I have been doing pull-ups. Can't do one yet. However, like, love that you're working on it. David Goggins did the world record of 4,000 pull-ups, actually more, in less than 24 hours. Isn't that crazy? He got third-degree burns. Anyway, side note. Okay, number 2 that I want to talk to you about is that feeling of gut-wrenching inactives. You're going diamond, you're going emerald, you're losing rank, you're whatever, blah, blah, blah. We need to change our mindset on that. Instead of everything's falling apart, no one will ever do this, no one loves this as much as me, no one can stay on this, everyone's saying no. We have to understand that it's not going to always be like that. You're not going to always drop in and out of rank. You're not going to always just be sitting there, especially if you apply what I just taught you from Ed, right? But we have to change our mindset on it. You cannot look at your business like it's falling apart and it's the worst thing ever, okay? That's not going to serve you. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you move forward. Think of positive things. It's just I'm on my way to growth. And then you know what? These are the mantras I use. Hardworking women flow freely to me. So Brianna, who's on here, this is so crazy. She got 2 Success Club points. She helped 1 person last month. She never messaged me on how to do that. I'm still curious, to be honest, but like she just did it. Resourceful people figure it out. Resourceful people figure it out. So my mantra is hardworking women flow freely to me. Women who are resourceful flow freely to me. Women who want transformation flow freely to me, right? People who want to do this and love this as much as me flow freely to me. People who they're going to be independent flow freely to me. Women who are going to be positive and encouraging and create a really awesome culture flow freely to me. So anytime I see something like that in my business, of something that's not necessarily the most positive thing, that's the mantra I say in my head. And then I think of a coach that is like what I want them to be and who I want to work with and who I want to partner with. Because if I would have relied on the person I signed up with to guide me in everything, I wouldn't be on this call right now. My coach chose to do nothing with this, and I had to be resourceful and figure out stuff. And I just got to work. I failed forward and I figured it out. I didn't wait for anybody because I didn't have anybody. Like, I just kind of did it, right? I just got to work. The compensation plan. So if you're a personal trainer or a gym owner, you bank on everybody who walks through the door. Target. They bank on everybody who walks through their door, correct? This is what we would call retail. This is what we would call helping a challenger, is banking on who walks through your doors. You need to understand that we have a compensation plan that is built for everybody. It doesn't play favorites. It doesn't take from people's checks. Everything goes to Beachbody, and Beachbody is like the monopoly banker. Boop, 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 okay? I don't know why I made that noise. That's the one we're going with. But there's a banker at Beachbody, right? That serves it all out. So everybody gets 25% commission of helping any challengers. Everybody. It doesn't matter whether you've been in this 5 years, you're a 7-star diamond, you're a coach, blah, blah, blah. It does not matter. That is all network wide. The same goes for this other part of the compensation plan that is not banking on who just walks through your door. Meaning there's a whole part of this other compensation plan that Beachbody says, for example, if you become an Emerald coach, which is just helping 2 coaches get started, this needs to be everybody's goal, because if I'm telling you the retail side is one way to get paid, and then there's 5 other ways to get paid, that's really banking on this other part of the compensation plan, that's how you're going to make a paycheck that you wish to have. That Beachbody says, if in your whole organization, if there's $300 made in your entire organization, we're going to pay you $14. It's almost like free money. Like, we're just going to give you $14 if your whole organization makes $300. Then when your whole organization makes $600, we're going to give you $28. And then if you're a diamond coach, if your whole organization makes $300, we're going to give you $18. And then what's crazy is when you become a diamond coach, and this is for all diamonds. It's not just for me. It's not just for Kim Beyer. It's not just for Morgan Schaefer, Jill Brown. This is for all people who decide to become diamond. That any PS coach that is emerald, why wouldn't you bank into this? This is why you become diamond. You don't become diamond because of accolades. It's not going to fill you up. It's not going to give you confidence. That's not going to be the game changer for you. The reason you need to become diamond is because you want to maximize a compensation plan and believe heavily in other people and grow your organization, okay? Are you hearing me out on this? Beachbody, as a diamond coach, they will pay you 10% of any emerald coach that you have that has a team cycle. So Lauren Lundberg, let's say she makes $500 of a team cycle a week. That's freaking awesome. Am I right? Beachbody is going to say, hey, Julianne, we're going to give you $50. We're going to give you 10%. That's not taking from Lauren's check. This is additionally. Lauren still gets her check. Beachbody is going to say, hey, and we have this other pot of cash for 10 percenters that we're going to give you. For me, my new sponsor coach is newer, not the person I signed up with, is Sarah Morrison. If I make $3,200 in a team cycle, which I have not done in one business center, by the way, but say I did, Beachbody would be like, here's $320, Sarah. Here's 10%. This is why diamond matters. Things like this, and we need to understand it. Do you hear me? Same thing with emerald. The only way to tap into and maximize this compensation plan is to go emerald. I'm going to preach this until forever. You won't see it right away. You're just going to say, oh, it's just $14. It's just $14. $14 because you have an organization that's making $300. Like, that is $14 that you didn't have to go out there and be in charge of. That's $14 that Beachbody just gave you. And then it grows. It started with zeros for me. And then there was $14. And then there was $28. In 1 week, I made $3,200 with zero retail because I maximized the other parts of the growing compensation plan. Where this grows into residual income, where this grows into compounding, I don't know, interest in a good way, is with that part of the compensation plan. It's amazing. Not selfish to do this because of where your heart is. I don't feel bad because I know how much I love this, how much I invest in it, and how much I want other people to have it too. If I don't do it, who will? If I don't do it, who's going to show you? If I don't do it, right? ... I didn't wait for my sponsor. She didn't do it. I just got to work. That is why I have you in our business builder page looking at your carryover. Every time $300 is made in your total organization and you cannot team cycle it yet, Beachbody is creating a bank for you. And this bank sits there and it grows when you are an emerald coach. It's going to continue to grow and grow. So if you're missing out on these cycles of just $14 or whatever, where you're at in your mindset about it, because it gets really cool when you start to look at it in a different way. Beachbody is saying, hey, we're going to accumulate this for you until you're ready to tap into it. That's pretty awesome. When you go inactive, that erases. Eric's sitting on $132,000. That is in his piggy bank. It makes me want to throw up in this very moment. Yep. If he were to go inactive, it would erase. It would erase. It would be gone. Thank goodness they don't erase that. The way to tap into it, right, is just continuing to help people get started, and everybody has access to that. This is why I have you looking at your complete downline, not just the PS coaches that you've helped, but your complete downline. And that we've been talking about that in our business builder page. When you log into teambeachbody.com, you go to your coach online office, you look at the dashboard, it's all the way on the left. It's going to have a volume button, and I want you to check it, and then it's going to have a downline button. That downline, you need to see how many people are in your total organization, because in your total organization is just going to help you maximize this compensation plan. Again, we can help each other, but the coolest part is it doesn't mean you automatically make money. The people that are the person I signed up with, I outranked her and out-earned her. It's not like that. It's whoever decides to do this thing. When we're doing income progressions in this leadership page, hang with me, I'll be done in a couple minutes, is that people who have been in this longer than me, I'm making more than them. It's not about when you get in and whatever, like it's 100% on you. And I took ownership on that of my own destiny of like, what do I want from this, right? And this is how you do it. I cannot even begin to tell you, and this is why I talk about it so bluntly, how much I love this team. This is where the lifestyle sticks. This is where the lifestyle lasts. This is where the friendships are made. This is where we travel together. This is where we invest in each other. Challenge groups are mainly about physical appearance or getting in the best shape of your life physically. Am I right? There's a little bit of mindset in there, but wouldn't you say challenge groups are mainly just workouts and nutrition? This team, it is workouts, nutrition, friendship, freedom, finances, dreaming bigger, more potential, camaraderie. Like, what else can we even do this? Playing Catan, going to each other's houses, spending more time together. That is what happens on this team. Like, it's not just about workouts and nutrition. And that is why I believe so much in this team. Remember, I said you have to have 3 beliefs: belief in the company, belief in the team, and belief in yourself. Then this won't be weird. This is not a bad thing to want to bring people here. And I'm so convicted of that. So this is how you talk to people. You could join my challenge group, or you can join the ultimate accountability, where the lifestyle sticks, where this is where the most transformation happens. This is where my whole heart is. You can either be a coach to self or coach to others. Guess what? Everybody on this call is coach to self. Every single person who joins Happy and Fit is coach to self, no matter what. You can either be coach to self or coach to others. Guess what? When you master coach to self, and I'm not saying perfectly, but when you can own your jealousy, own your comparison, own when you get off track, own when you are struggling, when you can own that and share it and keep showing up through it, that's owning it. You can own coach to others. And that is how you do it. It's free to do it your first month with the challenge pack. And if you want to continue on to be a part of our tribe, our sisterhood, our livelihood, it's $15.95 membership fee that we all pay, not just you, right? That I pay. Do you guys know I pay $15.95 to be in this? Happy and Fit wasn't made by Beachbody. It was made by us. That's how it's different. That is what I have for you tonight. I'm so grateful that all of you could be on. One of my favorite things is to see how this spoke to you. But more than anything, I just hope you know your potential. I hope you know what you can do with this thing. I hope you know that this can continue to transform your life and to transform the lives of other people. And you have it within you to do it. You just have to make the decision to. I'm going to hit end record.